Hey, stranger. Hadn't seen you in a while. Really, you haven't seen me in a while. At least not on this channel. And if I'm being completely honest, this wasn't the video that I was gonna share today, because the video that I wanted to share, not done yet. This is too close. You're too close. Can you back up a little bit, please? That's better. I missed you guys, and it's been a little while. I wasn't quite sure how I was gonna show back up on this channel. I really wasn't. Holidays happened, and the new year happened, and I've been doing a lot of work on the other channel. If you're not familiar with the other channel, I basically talk about the artistic side of all the things that I do. Like all the art stuff that I tried to bring over here, but you guys just weren't having it. It's been going all right. Could be better. I'd like to have most people go over there and watch all my videos successively so that I can start getting, into the monetization strategy over on that channel, but that hasn't happened yet. If you want to go over to the other channel and watch all my videos, you're more than welcome to. There's a link in the description. Anyway, so the video that I was going to be sharing with you today, and not going to show today, but I'm going to share next week, so stay tuned. I'm starting to get back into designing merch and other products for my shop, and I'm going to be doing that obviously in some Affinity products. The thing is I was trying a different approach to this video. I did the whole design, and then I was going to do a voiceover on top of that, but I wanted to do it a little bit better, a little different than I had done it in the past. The learning curve on that process has been a little bit steeper than I expected. It took a little bit longer than I expected, and well, honestly, it's still in progress, but it'll be done next week, I promise. I'm gonna give you a little teaser right here. Bam! So that design gets designed all in Affinity Photo and some Affinity Designer, but that's a different video too. I'll explain later. I came to the conclusion that the aesthetics of the merchandise that I was selling before didn't quite fit with what the kind of work that I've been doing artistically throughout all my other stuff. If you go to my website and you look at the art, you'll see that there's a certain aesthetic going on. And I wanted to make sure that the merch that gets created also kind of has that aesthetic. And anything that I design as a merchandise thing, or art prints, or posters, or book covers, whatever it is that I design, I kind of want to maintain this same aesthetic so that everything starts to feel cohesive. If you jumped back in time to 2021, you would look at my work and be like, okay, I get that he did this, and I get that he did this, but those things don't really feel like they go together. That's what I want to change. That's why I designed this particular shirt design, and who knows, it might go on other things, but yeah, that's how it's gonna work from this point forward. Now that's next week, but let's talk about what goes on beyond that. Like, what's after that? What other projects do I have planned for the rest of 2023? Well, okay, that might be a stretch. I don't have projects planned for the rest of 2023, but I do have some ideas. First, there's gonna be more Affinity projects, but they're gonna be a little different than, like, hey, this is what I do in Affinity. It's gonna be more about designing something in Affinity and talking about that and why I'm doing it, why I'm making that thing, what's that thing about, how does that resonate with you. I mean, projects that I design in my style, and if you have thoughts and questions and concerns and hey, how'd you do that, Dave? Then I can answer those. But I'm not gonna go down this rabbit hole of, hey, I learned this new technique, and then this new technique, and then this new technique that have nothing to do with the kind of work that I do. That's just not what I'm into. Because here's the reality of a lot of YouTube designers here, and this is actually a video that I think I want to talk about in more detail, but I'll give you a little sneak peek. Yeah, a lot of YouTube designers are boring, and I think they're boring because they're doing these things that may not necessarily feel like them. They're doing them as some sort of instruction. They're doing them as some sort of, hey, look what I learned, but it has absolutely no relationship to the work that they actually do. Or maybe I'm just a little bit more hyper energetic than everybody else, and I just feel like if you're not at this level, then I'm just not gonna watch you. And to be fair, if this level is too much for you, I'm sorry, but this is just how I roll, and maybe you wanna go back and watch Satori Graphics. Talented guy, not my vibe. So a couple of the design projects that I have in mind is I've got this poster project that I've been thinking about in my head, and I knew I wanted to do this poster project for a while, but I wasn't exactly sure how it was gonna play out. The idea is that I have like a general framework of a poster. There's some standardized things that go on the poster. I kind of customize each one, but all that standardized stuff stays there. Just as a pictorial, let's say there's a frame, and then there's some words, and there's some things that identify that this is like, hey, this is a Dave project. I vomit my creativity on top of that design, but I carry that same template over to the next one, and I vomit some more creativity, and so on, and so on, and so on. How about those visuals? But as I thought about it more, like what would the posters be about? I wasn't sure what I wanted the posters to be about. Like a poster should really kind of have like a purpose Otherwise, it's just like an art print. It could be like describing an event. It could be talking about, like a particular band or a theater show or something like that. It could be like some sort of socio-political thing. It could be like a protest. It could be, there's so many different ways that you can create posters. You can do stuff that's like, that's a description of something that's happened like in pop culture. So many different things that you could do with a poster. That's why I love that as a medium. Well, okay, that's all great, Dave. But what are you gonna make? I don't mean you, I mean me. I was talking to myself. I was thinking about a video that I did on the other channel where I talked about how content is kind of gonna be the thing for me. Like I'm moving into this territory with all the things that I make where it's very content driven. I make a lot of videos, I write on my newsletter, I post up short form video. What if I take the thoughts behind the content that I've already made or I'm going to be making and turn those into poster ideas? For instance, on the other channel, last video I talked about how I'm kind of changing my focus towards content creation. Well, what if I made a poster that kind of was emblematic of that idea? And I don't know what that means yet. I haven't made the poster yet. I gotta create that template first, and then once I create the template, then I have it, and then I can just put all the stuff in that kind of relates to that video or that newsletter I sent out. Or it could be something completely different. Like I bought a new book that I read and I thought it was really good. Let's make a poster about that book. And it would just be for fun. Maybe some of them would end up being really cool and I might find some new techniques to share. And so that, it's a really good way for me to do something simple, do it quick, and put it up here so that you guys can see what I'm all up to. It's not the only thing I'm gonna do. I've got this abstract comic book that I've been wanting to do that I haven't done. It's kind of been on the back burner for a while. I also had this thought about creating an annual magazine project where I would feature the work of other artists that are kind of similar to the work that I'm doing, or the stuff that I really kind of lean into, the artists that I like, the artists that I appreciate. Build a book that's like a compendium of those. Big project, big idea. I haven't even fleshed it out yet, but that could happen. I also want to do some videos about making projects in other types of software, like for instance doing a poster design or a book design in Canva, or Kittl, which is like this new up and coming that's trying to compete with Canva, or Procreate, or some other software program, not Adobe. I've decided not to go that route. I'm actually really interested in doing the ones like Canva and Kittl because Canva, at least, is probably the most disruptive program or company out there that really is the only one that really has a chance to compete with Adobe at this point. Don't get all up in arms. Affinity is great and all, but it really, they're not even on the same level. Like Canva is like a multi-billion-dollar company at this point, and they're doing some really tremendous things. I know it's crazy to say, but once we get into it, we'll talk about it more because I think it's an interesting point, and I think that these apps are something to be considered. It sounds like blasphemy, but it might actually be easier to do things there than it is in all these other apps that we use. I could be wrong, but we're gonna give it a shot. Gigantic caveat asterisk on that, okay? I have no idea exactly when these projects or these videos are gonna come out. I can say that I have been a lot more diligent, a lot more productive in the beginning of the year because I made a conscious effort to get myself more organized. My projects have been moving forward at a steady, consistent pace, and I'm actually impressed with myself for being able to stick to it, which just makes me believe that all these things that I talk about, even though they're kind of like ether right now, they will happen. They are gonna happen. You will see them soon. Stick around and find out. And this is where I throw it back to you, okay? At this point, if you have any thoughts about videos that you would like to see that I might consider entertaining, what you need to do is go down to the comments and drop those thoughts in there. I'm open to anything. It doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna happen, but I'm open-minded to it. And while you're headed down here, make sure you hit that like button because you love me for being back, right? And this is the point in the video where I point to a video that I have done in the past that you should go watch next, but this one is actually in my other channel, and this is the one that I was just talking about. So go watch that video next. And if you enjoy it, hit the like button on that one too. That's it, I'm out. I'll see you next time, guys.